Since the year started, I have taken 90 trades on gold. And take a wild guess as to how many of those trades I actually won. Take one wild guess. Actually, go to the comment section down below and comment just what you think my win percentage was. And I'll give you guys a second to do that so I can tell you. I'll literally tell you in a second. 77.7%. That was my win rate on gold, which was absolutely insane. 77%, and I only took 90 trades in Q1. The first quarter of the year, I took 90 trades on gold. Now you could be asking yourself, that sounds like a hell of a lot of trades, bro. I had to take them because, as you guys know, the markets have been so favorable for anybody trying to make $1 million. If you're trying to make 2 million, 10 million, 100 million, it doesn't really matter. The markets have actually been more favorable for people who are ready to dive in and take advantage of what is happening. Even though there was the stock crash, gold was the obvious choice for most people. And of course, your boy made money off of that. I went in, I traded that, and I've been trading that since, and I'm going to continue to trade that, and my win rate has been absolutely and exceptionally high. I'm going to break down 3 trades, and these are not even the best trades, but I'm going to break down 3 trades. All right, team, so this first trade that I'm going to show you guys, I took the markets for $17,000 on this trade. I got a 100 pip move, which is about 10 points in gold, and the price point that we did take it at, I think, was 2996. I believe it was 2995 is where we took our trade until 3005. So, of course, let me do a quick brief breakdown for you guys as to what I was actually looking forward to before I even took this trade. So of course I took a bunch of trades between this point, but I'm going to break down these 3 because it was 90 trades, 90 amazing trades. So we had a market correction. As you see, price started to fall once we reached 3,170, right? That price started to fall, and this was an expected correction. So you have to understand, the biggest milestone that we had for gold was 3,000, breaking 3,000. Breaking 3,000 was one of the biggest milestones that we had for gold, and price had shot up 170 points above that zone. So of course we were going to have a retest, right? Of course we're going to have some form of a price correction, right? Because you guys know, if price buys continuously for one time, at one point it's got to come down a little bit to correct it, right? It can't be overbought. When it's overbought, it's got to sell a bit. When it's oversold, it's got to buy a bit, right? The simple rules when it comes to trading. So we were overbought for some time. The correction did come to take place, and of course the level that I was looking at was about 3,000. I was looking at 3,000 for the level of potential retest, and that's exactly what happened. We came over here. So let's do a brief breakdown as to what I looked forward to actually taking the trade. Now, why was I bullish? You're probably wondering, okay, but you saw we'd been selling from 3,170 all the way to 3,000. That's 170 points. Why would you still have a bullish bias? So I was selling during the price correction because obviously, you know, I know it was a price correction, had to happen. So I was selling, but I did have my range where I expected price to then continue with its overall bullish momentum, and that was 3,000. For other reasons, I'll break that down also in another video. So we came down to 3,000, and I was ready to now take my buys and continue with the bullish momentum, but I needed a few confirmations. Let's break that down. So number one, of course, I had to find areas where we did have some support, areas where the buyers did try to come in. So as you guys can see, I did mark up this area over here particularly because you see price sold in and bought out of it with a lot of pressure. Even though we came down to break down below, we ended up buying out of it, and then as you can see, we've come back down to kind of retest it as well, which is brilliant work. Now another thing you need to know is that on the 1 hour time frame, you know, the 1 hour time frame, the candlesticks are still playing within this range. This down here was just a wick on the 1 hour time frame, so showing that this level of course is strong, right? This area is respected. So because I'd seen touch here, right, I'd seen our touches here as well. And another thing that I also seen is if you kind of see that little bit of a range, a little bit of a consolidation period happening with the markets on the M15, not really doing much. So a breakout, of course, was expected. So now, of course, we have our breakout that's going to be expected. I need to find potential entry, right? So that's the other part. You need to find a good point to enter. And I like to enter on momentum. If you guys know anything about me, you've been watching me trade for a couple of years, I like to enter on the breakout. I like to get the momentum, because once you get that breakout and the momentum, even if price is going to reverse, say an hour later, you would have taken a lot of pips if you were able to catch that momentum break as soon as possible. So of course, I'm going to mark up the bodies of the candlesticks. Of course, I had this level marked up as well. So ideally, because we had respected this area again, what I did want to do was I wanted a break and a close above it. And then just for more momentum, I would probably want it to outdo the wicks, right? I would want price to definitely go above the wicks. Hence why I decided to take my trade at 2995. We can actually adjust that. So of course, this trade was a solid 1 to 2. We did do a solid 1 to 2 on this trade because, of course, I wanted to be in and out, quick and clean, right? And of course, price did, of course, do its thing, and we had a beautiful break. So once we had broken above, I decided to catch price on momentum, push right above there. We entered that profit, and then we went straight for the buy. Of course, went straight for TP as soon as we broke. As soon as we broke, we got the momentum, we went straight up. A good 1 to 2 on the trade. Now, the reason I didn't, of course, want to go even a little bit higher with the trade is because there was, of course, expected resistance at this level. And I did want to just scalp it, right? I did want to scalp it. I didn't want to spend too much time in the trade. I knew that definitely I was going to be able to get about 10 points from this trade. So that was my target. And of course, to make sure my risk reward was better, I had to, of course, risk about 5 points on the particular trade just to make sure I'm able to make money. And the beautiful part about entering on momentum is that once you have that spike up in momentum and you get in on it, you can cover a lot of distance real quick. A clean breakout, clean momentum push, good risk to reward. We hit TP in like what? I think it was under 30 minutes that we hit TP, because each candlestick represents, of course, 15 minutes. Under 13 minutes that we hit it, quick, clean, and out. So now to the next trade. All right, guys, now for the next trade, this one was absolutely juicy. All right, this one was juicy. $25,000 was able to make off this trade. It was absolutely pretty clean. It was also very textbook. It was kind of a textbook trade. And what I mean by that is it's everything we learned. Trend lines, third touch on the trend line, either break or continued off the overall momentum. That was what made this trade so beautiful, so simple. Now, another thing I do want to say is that price was buying, right? So we do have that major buy. Price is buying. You know, we know exactly what's happening right now. Solid momentum, very clean momentum as well on top of that. So let me show you what happened. So I took this trade at about 3091 all the way to 3117. So it was a really good trade. We had, of course, I drew a beautiful trend line right over here. You know, we had our touch here, I would touch here, and of course I would touch here. So you can clearly see that we have a nice solid trend line that we are respecting. So initially what I wanted for this particular trade was for price to come and hit the trend line, and then I wanted to make sure that we didn't break below. So I didn't enter on the exact touch of the trend line. I wanted momentum back to the top because, like I told you guys, you know me, I like to enter on momentum, right? I like to enter on momentum because I find myself in a profit a lot sooner, a lot quicker, and I catch those movements a lot faster. In and out. We pip and we dip real quick. We don't do too much. Pip and we dip. So of course I took this trade at 3091. Let me show you exactly where. So another 1 to 2. Now you could be saying, okay, why didn't you enter a lot sooner under that candlestick? Is that we did have, of course, higher projections, right? I wanted more momentum for me to be able to kind of take the trade. So it was very textbook on the trend line, third touch on the trend line, wait for that push and momentum, and beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, part of the reason, as you can see, why I didn't enter beforehand is you see that little candlestick we did have, that first one. Let me zoom in for you guys first. You see this little candlestick that we had over here, this little one here? This wasn't enough for me to enter the trade. I needed momentum. The strong candlestick was great momentum. Now you could argue that, okay, we could have just maybe come to the top and maybe potentially reversed, right? Why did you continue with the buy trend when we could have sold here? It's because, number one, this was the third touch off the trend line. On top of that, this was momentum, right? This was momentum continuing in the bullish trend. The bulls had been flying, had been running, right? Everybody's running to gold because of the tariff war. People are leaving stocks. They're leaving the NASDAQ, US 30. They're coming to gold to protect their investments. So of course, we're going to continue with the momentum, the bullish momentum. I'm not trying to sell in a bullish market, you understand? And this was before the correction that I explained to you earlier. This is before the correction. So of course, we're going to continue with the momentum. And another thing when it comes to trading gold that I do want everybody to be well aware of is don't be greedy. Never be greedy in the market. You see, I'm doing nice 1 to 2s, quick in and out, waited for the momentum, took the trade. And even if we did sell, so let's do a random example. So if say we did hit the top and then we came down and we hit my SL, as long as we didn't break below here, I was definitely going to look for more trades to continue back to the top end, probably recovering my loss and probably breaking even because I was aiming for a 1 to 2 anyway. So would have broke even for the day either way. Either way, I wasn't coming out of this day without a win, not because I was forcing trades, but simply for the fact that I know what I'm doing, right? I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm looking for, I know what I'm waiting for. So an absolutely phenomenal trade. Now there is the last trade that I do want to break down for you guys, which was, I think, one of my favorites as well. Did do a number on it, so I'm gonna break that down for you guys as well. All right, so this is the final trade. This one is delicious. It's delicious. It was absolutely yum. It was delicious. $50,000 on this particular trade because because it did everything correct, it did everything right. And with this particular trade, I actually kept extending my I kept extending my take profit because the momentum was incredibly strong, and I thought I could squeeze a little bit more out of this particular trade. I don't always do that, but if you see the momentum and you see the projection on the particular trade, it's like, why not go with it? But before we even get into the trade, I do want to say, always trail your positions at a certain point. When you reach a certain amount of profit, it's important that that SL is either at break even or you're trailing some of your positions. So if you say that you wanted a 1 to 2, but you see a potential 1 to 4, you have to trail it. You have to monitor that trade. So you never up 1 or 2, and then you get greedy, and then you're down, and then it goes back, hits your SL, and you can kick you out of the trade. It's important to always end in blue. It's something I always teach. Always end in blue. Never revenge trade. But if you're up in profit, don't let your profit go. You know what I mean? Always end in blue. So this one, I took this trade at 3114 on gold. Delicious. So let's break it down. So let me come for the rewind for you guys. I think it was over here. Ideally with the same trade, I'm following the momentum, right? I'm following the overall trend of the market, real smooth, loving the overall trend of the market. As you can see, we have solid buys. If you even come through, we have a solid uptrending market, absolutely beautiful. You kind of see us just working this range. You kind of see us just working this trend line, right? You see all that. The trend is perfect. It's seamless. It's so easy. Yes, what's that? SE gold? People be calling me the GOAT lately. I apologize. It's not personal. You know what I mean? If that's what you guys gonna call me, I'm gonna be humble and just take the name GOAT. Stop glazing. A little bit more, please. Anyways, back to it. So I took this trade at 3114, right? That's where I took the buy for gold. The momentum was kind of obvious what we were doing, right? The momentum was obvious, a bullish market as well. We're on the trend, bottom of the trend line. Price is trending a little bit better. Now, there's also a secret that I will explain to you guys at a later stage when it comes to trend lines. I want you to notice how this particular trend line is kind of different from the previous trend line that I did show you. If you guys can comment down below how this trend line is a little bit more different as opposed to the previous trend line that I showed you. If you know exactly what I'm talking about, drop it in the comment section down below. But I promise I will explain it in another video for you guys. You'll just let me know if that's what you want to see, because not every trend line is the same, and certain trend lines give certain indications. It's really, really good, really awesome, especially if you pay attention. I took my trade at 3114. It was another beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trade. So this trade was absolutely clean, guys, and it kept respecting the trend line, right? It kept respecting the trend line, staying on the trend line, following momentum. All we were doing was just entering at the sweeps, right, to take it back to the top. That's all we were doing. And this is, I can't express the importance of trading with the trend. You trade with the trend. This has to be one of the most prime examples. Of course, it's a little bit more different when you're in a more stable market condition. It is a little bit different, but once you take that slight adjustment, it's so easy. Right, that's a bad word. It's a very bad word for me to use, especially when it comes to trading. Easy is a very bad word, but I do want to tell you is that if you're focused and you're locked in and you're dialed in, there's no reason you won't be able to succeed in this, right? You have to be dialed in, you have to be locked in. I took about a little over $50,000 from this particular trade, which was absolutely massive and insane. So I want everybody else to stay focused. You guys have to stay focused. The markets are bleeding right now, so it is your job to make sure you make the most out of it. So many people are making money. We're making money. My team is making money, and also remember, I do give out all these trades for free. All these trades that I did take, all these trades that I've shown you, all the 90 gold trades that I did take this year, especially in Q1, I gave every single trade out for free. I'm not out here gatekeeping trading by myself. All my trades are for free. You guys go into the description down below, click the link and come and join the team. Come and join the winning team. Stay locked in, stay focused. Maybe you guys can absolutely change. And I also want to show you guys something absolutely amazing as well, because proof, I don't eat alone. Money. People are making a lot of money with us at SE, and it's absolutely insane. I want you guys to come and join the team, come and make some money, change your lives. A lot of people are changing their lives. You are in the right industry. If you're watching this video, it's because you want to trade, you want to be successful, or if you already are successful and just want to brush up on a few things, you're definitely in the right place. I appreciate everybody for taking time to watch this video, and as always, team, let's eat with SE. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.